Adam, I guess Luke and Lewis are definite starters for Sunday?
Yeah, they'll come in. Yep. They obviously missed for different reasons, but they're both available this week, and we'll play them.
What was Lewis's week like on the track? Did he train much?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he trained all week, so he's been, he's touch and go for last week, so didn't want to take the risk with the travel, so he's available this week and good to go.
What does that do to the lineup down back? It makes it a fair bit quicker as well.
Yeah, look, it's funny, it's his first season as a defender, really, so, but it looks like he's been there a while, doesn't he? He's been pretty good for us with his ball use, and he's learning more and more how to defend and connect with the other defenders, so that's been really pleasing. I think it's been a real positive for us this year.
With Freo on Sunday, do you expect to be quite congested in a bit of a lockdown game?
Oh, look, it might be depending on the weather as well. But look, there's the way Freo plays, the way we play. It's quite often that's just the way it is. So sometimes you get open games, sometimes you get closed games. So we anticipate a fair struggle, but we'll see how we go.
Do you expect a closed game, Ben?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by a closed game, because I think.
Well, restrict your scoring, restrict your ability to get the footy, hold it in their back.
That's the plan every week. I don't think. Especially this time of the year, the clubs go in and say, let's just have a shootout and see how we go. So, yeah, we want to restrict and do the same thing to Fremantle. So, closing it down, all that sort of stuff is not top of mind. It's I think both clubs are looking to do that.
How seriously considering Liam Ryan this week?
Yeah, very, very seriously considering it. So we'll get through that this afternoon. But his form's been that was good on the weekend. He had 5 shots at goal. The week before it was quite a wet day, hard for anyone to play, but his training standards have been really good and he's in a really good headspace.
Do you feel like you use another forward without JK? There's a bit extra firepower.
Yeah, look, we probably missed a key position forward on the weekend. Liam doesn't feel that void, but he does know how to get a shot on goal. So that's part of our discussions. It's quite young, our forward line at the moment, and when JK's not there, I looked up on the weekend and saw Waterman and Venables and Petruccelli and Rioli all together, and they were, along with Lacroix and Darling, it's quite inexperienced, and which is exciting for us. I think a lot of our fans and supporters have been quite buoyed about what our future might look like, but every now and then it's going to get challenged, and there's no doubt that's happened at stages this year.
The club was understandably concerned about Liam off the field. How's it going now?
Yeah, working through all that. Obviously, he had his indiscretion that we dealt with, so we're comfortable with his penalty and how we're working with him off field. It's been really important for him and the footy club that we've backed him in. So it's now on selection of form rather than let's get him in for any other reason. So it's a form thing now, and it's what's best fit for the senior boys.
Has he had some counselling that's helped him work?
Yeah, I don't think we need to go into that too much. It's a private matter and we're dealing with it.
Have the police come back with findings from that, Adam?
No, yet to announce any of that stuff yet. So we're still working through that, but we've got a fair indication where things are at. But when the time's right, when we get the full report, we'll announce it.
So you haven't received one from the police? Is that normal to take?
I think so. I think it takes a while.
Just in terms of Freo's forward line, can you get a gauge on who's going to play for them this year?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit like ours, really. There's some youth coming through. There's a sprinkle of experience. There's a challenge with the talls. So we'll wait till tonight to see how it matches up. But our back line in general's pretty flexible, so we'll wait and see what they do. But yeah, there'll be a surprise there somewhere, I'm assuming.
Do you expect Taberner to come back, obviously, given the
interesting one, yeah.
Given the fact that they are lacking that firepower up front, though? Yeah,
well, we'll find out in a few hours. To speculate and go through all that, we do that tomorrow morning once the team's decided. So, it's a challenge to work all that out. I don't want to waste our coach's time, so we're prepared for a little bit of that, but we'll wait until this afternoon, and then tomorrow morning we'll get together and work out what we're going to do.
Are you considering starting Barras forward?
Yeah, we're looking at that, and we're looking at a few other things as well, which we won't go into, but McGovern's done a pretty good role for us at stages this year. We've got some other options too there that we're working through. And do we go smaller ourselves? Is something we're looking at. So that'll be revealed on Sunday. But we're working through all those situations.
You mentioned how young the forward line was last week. Their forward line's young also. Managing who goes down there, how difficult is it working it out when you've got that much youth who all play in that role?
Yeah, it is. It's a challenge. It's I mean, on the weekend it was a challenge to get it in there. So we had, I don't know, low inside 50s. Three-quarter time, I think we had 28 or 29 inside 50s. So to say that our kids struggled in Tassie up forward, they struggled for supply. So we need to get that right before we worry about anything. We need to get the midfield right. We need to get our centre bounces right. We need good balance of supply, and we need to be tough around the ball.
The Shuey's inclusion obviously gives you a bit more.
He's an important player for us. You know, we've won before without him. So we like to spread the load a little bit, but he's a quality player. So having him back and fresh is good.
You think it was more the ruck situation last week, or the ground level that was the problem?
Sorry?
You got head goals in last week.
Yeah.
Was it a ruck problem, or was it a midfield problem?
Oh, look, we just got out hunted and outworked across the board. So we've all acknowledged that. We could have done things better from a coaching point of view as well. So we've reflected and moved on. So we're full steam ahead.
Without Sandilands and Fife, what opportunity does that present you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean they've been dealing with that for a while. So you only got to look at the game a few weeks ago against Port and how well they played and how unified they looked. So we'll deal with Fremantle at their best, and obviously they're missing a couple of players, as are we. So, but that happens every week now, this time of year as well. So no Nat Nui or Kennedy's a bit of a loss for us as well.
How do you look at Fremantle? Because they've looked so terrible at times, but then other times they've looked really good. So their best and their worst is such a big
yeah, well, you look at the profile of their side, and on occasions with some really talented young players coming through, you're going to get that. So I've seen, I know they would admit they were a little bit disappointing on the weekend, but the games, the Essendon game and the Port game, the Port game in particular was, they'd have a lot to work off that game. So we're looking at them at their best and not taking anything lightly this week, that's for sure.
How is Josh Kennedy tracking with that? Like, has he sort of turned a corner, or have you seen much improvement at all?
Yeah, we went through this a few weeks ago. It's a very similar injury, so we're a bit more aware of the process. So he's working through that. Gets on the older G, does his Ks on there, walk, jog on the oval, weight bearing in the gym, all that sort of stuff. It's day to day. He's getting better. So the next week or two, hopefully we'll see him back. How
delicate is it for you to try and get him some games in before finals, obviously, to get some continuity into his body, because he's really struggled with that this year?
We're just going to get him right. So however long that takes, we'll give him. I mean, he missed a big chunk of pre-season, came straight back into the side when he was available, performed quite well for us when he came back, and now he's missed another little chunk. So just get him right first before we get him back.
Is there a hairline fracture again?
I think so. I think it's something like that, yeah. So we couldn't tell you the exact details of it, but it's from a collision. Yeah.
How have the players responded from last week? Do you think it was just a one-off last week, or...?
Don't know. Find out this week. So, where the season's at, it's just so tight and so tense. So it's a great opportunity for us to take another step forward. We're all in it together, and we're playing with pretty good spirit, and we were disappointing on the weekend. So we're up for it, though. We're up for it.
Has there been extra meetings, or has it been business as usual?
Business as usual. We're trying to treat this season and every season the same every week, from our itinerary to the way we treat the players, to the way we try and develop our players. We're trying to be as consistent as we can. So, yeah, I'm not going to deviate.
Just back on Chaka, do you know why he keeps getting those?
It's a collision injury. So when you get a collision, sometimes you can't prevent.
So it's not more prone to it or anything?
I don't think so, no. I have to drink a bit more milk. Other than that, I don't know what else we can do. I'm assuming because it's happened twice, and maybe it was a little bit more vulnerable around that area, but I don't think it's a long-term problem for us.
So you missed 3, I think it was, for the last one, if you're saying it's a similar...
Yeah, be around that time.
Longer than 3, just to make sure?
That's not up to me. Yeah, so I'll get advice on that.
Has he been training this week at all, Simmer, or has he not yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet.
So I think he said on Tuesday he probably needed to train this week if he was going to get a chance for Port. So,
yeah, well, this week hasn't finished yet. So I'll go to Sunday night before it becomes next week.
Simo, just obviously it's another week as usual for the Western Derby, but does it seem like a little bit of a lower key build up for the game? Obviously this is the 2 weeks of a year that the Eagles and Dockers fans get to go out on it, but have you found it a little bit lower key?
Not really. I get caught in the bubble of the footy club, so I don't see this any different to last week. There's a few more functions you turn up to, and they're no different than previous years, and even earlier in the year. So there's still, plenty of us and plenty of them going on. So that's no doubt the same. But the prep and all that stuff we do with our players, that doesn't feel different. It never has. And I made the mistake probably when I first got to the club to try and build it up as a little bit of a different feel and make it more of a finals type of game. But I've learnt really quickly that's not how you operate. So it's the same this week.
Why didn't that work when you first got there?
Oh, I was just young and dumb. So that was my, just interpretation. I've never been a part of it when I got here in 14. So I thought this is great opportunity to build it up, and yeah, that was silly.
Do you miss sitting next to Ross Lyon weekly?
I missed the hats. Where's the hats gone? I sat next to him yesterday at a function. That was all good.
Sam Mitchell did his book rounds the other day. He talked about obviously why he wants to go back, and obviously everyone understands it's a family issue.
Yeah.
When you got blokes, philosophically, the contract versus people wanting to leave and do other things, how do you handle these days? Because it doesn't seem like contracts allow people to plan much, because a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah, I look at it's unfortunate this has happened, but it does happen, and I think because of Sam's profile, it's obviously a lot more public. But it's not the first time this has happened to us and to other clubs as well. So we're trying to be as mature as we can. We've acknowledged that there's still plenty of unity amongst the coaches, and he's fully committed to our players. So that's all we can ask for, and we'll worry about all the other stuff, back office and at the end of the season. But our priority's got to be this week, this season, and Sam's indicated he's fully committed to that, and I'll back him in.
Is it possible to work remotely as an assistant coach?
I don't want to get into those scenarios. That's not the time. It really that deviates for what I'm here to do at the moment. So that's not the time.
If you do throw Barras forward, what's his goal kicking like? I'm trying to rack my brain.
Apparently he played forward at Hale.
Yeah.
So is that enough to go off? He played forward last week with stages. We tried to do a few things differently, and I thought he had a bit of presence up there. So we trained him there a little bit yesterday, but to say we're going to start that way is something that we haven't committed to. So we'll explore it if we have to. But there's a bit of a hole there. I mean, some of the players we've got coming through are just too raw, too young, and we've got really excited about what we've got with our kids coming through with Brander and Waterman, and I think Oscar Allen can play forward as well down the track, and Fraser's unavailable this week. So, there's a bit of a hole there, but I think in the long term, obviously we've got JK for hopefully another 3 or 4 years, but we've got some plans in place to replace him down the track. It's just they're a bit young at the moment.
Is your forward line your biggest question mark right now about what you do this weekend?
Oh, not really. We're not changing the way we play. The personnel changes a little bit, but like I said, every club's going through the same. I would have thought our dynamics in the ruck and how we deal with all that without Nick is something we're working through at the moment. We tried Scotty as a full-time ruck on the weekend last week, so do we do that again? Those things we're working through at the moment.
You had a basketball training with you a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Vines, and put aside the Category B,
yeah,
signed him or not. But basketball is in footy. We noticed on this weekend, Madgen's going to play. Is that certainly something that clubs are looking at more and more now?
I think so. Yeah, especially the Cat B space with that background. There's something there, isn't there? With obviously height is the is the biggest thing. And how you develop the skill and the instincts around football. A lot of these basketballers have played at a junior level and have transitioned into basketball and now have come back. So, they're all the things that every club is scouring the country for at the moment, the world really. So we're no different with what we're trying to do.
Just a quick one to finish. Jack Higgins, the goal last week. Right? Or goal? What was your...
Oh, it was a goal. Yeah, that was a goal.
Good bit of footy theatre?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good goal. Yeah, it was unique. I don't think we've ever seen it. So that was a goal.